I'm muted, of course. What's goody? What's good? How are you guys doing today? Big Play Slate here, BPS here, come back with another live stream. Today we have a special guest on the panel. We have Hunter Doyle from the Philly Insider Podcast. I almost forgot your name there. The Philly Insider Podcast. Go check them out, man. What they at, like 500 something subscribers, man. Get them to 600 as soon as possible. Road to 1K begins, but introduce yourself. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? This is my first time on BPS's channel, but we've collabed many a time before in bigger groups, just me and him on my channel, just sometimes spontaneously whenever I'm just going over preseason stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm Hunter Doyle. I run Philly Insider Podcast with my buddies over there, and I also write for InsideTheEagles.com. So we'll be doing film breakdowns, in-depth analysis, everything you guys want. I know a lot of people get ticked off that Big Play Slate does realistic predictions, but usually me and him think alike. So yeah, hopefully we're not too boring, but
Hey,
we do.
as long we disagree on
do
some
bounce ideas
things.
off each other, but
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm excited.
Yeah, we may disagree on a couple things just to make
Exactly.
this stream a little bit better and not like as boring. But it's
Yeah.
it's all fun at the end.
I'll remind myself
Yeah.
to disagree on purpose a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll be going over some things today. I'm gonna just give a couple shout outs in the chat. What's good, Logan? How are you doing, bud? BLSG, what's good, man? Corey Davis, how are you? Good morning to you in the West Coast. It's actually pretty much the afternoon right here in the East Coast. But
Yeah.
what's good, Big Fridge? Yes, I'll see that trade in the sleeper league. And what's good, Eagles champ? Yes. Let's go over the Gardner Minshew trade because that's what everyone wants to talk about. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, COVID year, you're going to need some depth at the quarterback position, right? Because you just never know who could go down. I mean, we don't want another Kendall Hinton situation on our hands like the Broncos had last year. So, with that in mind, I would have preferred they would also add a practice squad quarterback just because of that, because it's such an important position. And, just having an emergency option there, I think, is big. But even having Gardner Minshew just as that third guy, I think is massive, just because he's had experience the past couple of years. I think his numbers are a little bit misleading just because he does struggle. He plays it a little more cautious than his meme highlights would suggest he does. He definitely tends to check it down a lot. He tends to take his first read most of the time, which isn't always a bad thing, but a little more than you would like. And definitely a guy who, we would like to see him push the ball down the field, but a lot of his issues are common issues in young quarterbacks, right? He's a third-year quarterback, came over from Washington State with Mike Leach, actually played with Andre Dillard there too. But Mike Leach, where it was a very pass-heavy offense. He was throwing the ball like 50, 60 times a game. Now he's adjusting to a pro-style offense. And I think considering that and the numbers he put up and the fact that he won 6 games out of 12 starts, I think it was his rookie year, says a lot about, the success he's had. And I think it's fair to say he's a fringe starter. I don't think he's a guy who's going to take you to the Super Bowl, but to have him as, I think Flacco's going to start the year as the backup, in my opinion, but to have him as the number 2 down the road this year and next year you have him under control as well, I think is so huge. And 6th round pick that could turn into a 5th, but a 6th rounder in general, like that's an absolute steal. And I remember people were saying that they were upset that we gave up a conditional 6 for him. Look, I mean, I said this right when we traded him. We were going to get that pick back, and I know it is a conditional 5th, but Howie ended up getting that right back in the Andre Dillard trade. Not the Dillard trade. That didn't happen yet. The Matt Pryor trade. He literally got a 6th round pick back for, I know Matt Pryor's versatile, but has not really performed well at every position he's played. So I really think the move is, every angle you look at it, I think it makes a ton of sense. How about you, man?
Yeah, honestly, with the trade we did with the Colts to send Matt Pryor to them, I think that was good for us because not only did we get a 6, but they were kind of desperate because someone went down on the offensive line. I think
it was it Sam Tevy?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone went down for them, meaning they were desperate, and then they'd have to trade something like a little much of a value because we know realistically Matt Pryor is not worth a 6, but because they were desperate, they had to trade a 6.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot like the Sam Bradford thing, and also the potential Ertz situation you talked about a lot before the season started.
1,000%. But the whole Minshew thing, I kind of liked it because not only did we have to only trade a 6, that's good value for a quarterback, especially one that's been a starter. And it was impressive when he played. And for a bad team like Jacksonville, he did pretty good. Like honestly, I like the swagger. Minshew mania. That's gonna take a big leap in Philadelphia. Um, yeah, but like honestly, I think it was good for the Eagles because now that you get a 6 back with the whole Matt Pryor trade, I think it's good. And he's a fringe starter, as you said. He can be a guy that can help your team get to the playoffs if the team's already stacked. Like, let's say the Colts, for instance, if they didn't get Wentz, you put Minshew in there, then he would probably help them get to the playoffs, I guess, because he is a solid quarterback.
That team around him, I would guess so.
Yeah, 100%. Good trade. I like it. Value was impressive. Howie's been looking like a genius the last couple of weeks. Hell, he got Matt Pryor for a 6th-round pick, so that tells you a lot.
100%. Brings me back to when he traded John Dorenbos for a 7th to the Saints, which I mean, I don't know too many long snappers who garner a 7th round. I know that didn't go through because of his heart condition, but I don't know too many GMs that can get a 7th in return for the long snapper. So
that's crazy. We got a freaking 7th-round pick for a long snapper. That just shows you how like solidified Howie Roseman is in terms of just like working out like desperate moves. Like you get a 7th-round pick for a long snapper, then you basically won the entire season. Like, we can go over the 53-man roster. I don't know if you want to break that down. I'll share the screen for a bit. So, oh my God, who is in the chat? Look who's in the chat. Howie Greatness.
He follows me everywhere, man.
Yeah. Howie Roseman, what's good, man? What's good, Jordy? I forgot to shout you out. He says, so far, this has been one of Howie's best off seasons. I agree. Young talent, and I like that. Let me share my screen. I don't know if you want to pull that up, but I'll try to do it.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, my big play slay. Am I supposed to pull it up?
I mean, if you want to, sure. I mean, I'm just trying to right now.
Okay, I got you. I've got it up on my phone and all that.
All right, you can do it. You can do it.
You want to just go through position by position?
All right, yeah, for sure.
All right, so I mean, starting quarterbacks. I mean, I feel like that's pretty clear cut. I don't think there's anything to discuss there, right? Running back. I mean, obviously, it was Gainwell, Scott, and Sanders. So, what do you think of the decision to keep Jordan? First of all, I was surprised. I don't know if I was too surprised that Jordan Howard made it through to waivers, just because like not too many other teams see the value in him at this point. But based off of his preseason and the role he was playing in preseason, I was definitely a little surprised to see him not on the initial roster. But I do think he's going to be elevated in week 1 from the practice squad, and I think he's going to play. But what do you think about that?
Honestly, I think he has value still. I just don't think teams realize it because, he's that power back type of running back. And we kind of need a power back. And he's been looking pretty good this offseason in terms of training camp, preseason highlights, some of what you saw. He still looks good out there. I just don't think teams value him anymore because what they saw in 2020 they just don't see it. And of course, here we go with the Falcons-Eagles thing.
BPS Fresh Pumpkin Pie. What's that username?
It's this guy. It's Rick Bridge, bro.
I got you.
He is so funny, but at the same time, so weird. Of course, he's a teenager, so of course he'd be like that. Yeah, but With the Howard thing, I like it. Put him on the practice squad. We know he's not going to stay there for too long. He's going to get called up
Mm-hmm.
sometime soon.
Right.
So I like it to put him on the practice squad. Our practice squad looks really good right now. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Howard thing. What's good, B
Yeah.
Hub? How you doing, man? Um, yeah. You can keep going on the whole 53-man roster thing.
Yeah, so wide receiver, obviously the big thing was, I mean, first we were clear cut, especially with how Quez played this offseason, or preseason. Quez, Rager, Devontae, and then you have Ward. I think Ward was pretty much clear cut to make it too, just because I mean he's the veteran and you know what his role is at this point, like you know what you're gonna get out of him. And then I would say, J Jaw, Hightower, Fulgham were obviously the big stories, I think, in preseason. So what do you think? I mean, I'll give my opinion second, but what do you think of J Jaw making the team based off his performances preseason? What do you think of, Fulgham and Hightower did make it through the practice squad, all that? What do you think of that, how that played out?
Yeah, JJ Arcega Whiteside played better than Fulgham, even though I feel like
Yeah.
Whiteside should have got caught a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, he just played better. I'll be honest, I think he shouldn't have made this team, but because he played better than Fulgham and Hightower, he
Mm-hmm.
made he got a higher roster spot than Fulgham and Hightower. And
Right.
those guys are in the practice squad now. If
Mm-hmm.
they did good, they wouldn't be in the practice squad. They'd be in the actual roster. They'd be in the 53. Um,
Right.
because Arcega Whiteside played better this offseason and didn't look as bad, the coaches were like, okay, we're going to keep him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to see what Nick Sirianni saw in Travis Fulgham, but Fulgham, his motive isn't there, to be honest. Him and Hightower's motives,
Mm-hmm.
like they think they're gonna easily make the roster, but I don't think they hear what the coach is preaching. Like you got to look at that one time. But yeah, that's just what I look at it. Yes, sir, B Hub. It is the regular season week. Um, when your Cowboys get spanked by the Buccaneers, don't be talking. I'm playing. um,
I can't wait. I can't wait to see Dallas just get eat up on Thursday.
yeah. Oh my God! You see what I'm talking about, Big Bird? Look at what he said. Big Bird said he's going to grow up 6'5" quarterback and then kidnap. Oh my God! Honestly, bro, that's someone else. That's not me. But yeah, you keep going on 53.
Yeah, I mean, I would pretty much echo your thoughts on J Jaw and Fulgham and Hightower. Look, I mean, Mike Kay said it best. This coaching staff has no obligation to look at what these players have done in their past and just give them a roster spot based off of that. Now, obviously, there is a sense of, okay, this guy's been around in the league for a while. Like, obviously, you're not going to cut Zach Ertz, but when it comes to three young guys like that, they don't have to say J Jaws sucked the past 2 years, we don't keep him, or they don't have to say Fulgham had 5 really good games last year, we don't keep him, right? So I think it made a lot of sense. J Jaw really played well this preseason in practices, from what we heard. And obviously, in the last preseason game, that touchdown, and then not only a touchdown, he made a tackle on the kickoff right after that, might have saved his job, because I think at that point it was still kind of up in the air a little bit. But I mean, that ball was underthrown. He adjusted for it, and then obviously broke a few tackles. I know he's going up against the third team, but in terms of competing with Hightower and Fulgham and what they showed in preseason, some of those plays might have saved J Jaw's butt. So yeah, I think J Jaw. Look, I've said it a ton. I really think he's best fit to play the slot at this point in his career, just to be a big body slot type of guy, a red zone guy out of the slot. Which again, I want to clarify too. I know people take that as, I still think he has value to the team. Look, I think that the fact that he is a big slot red zone target right now and like fringe tight end, I don't want to call him tight end, but I think he can block on the wing a little bit. I think the fact that that's what I see his role as is evident that he didn't live up to his potential, right? He didn't. And I just want to clarify that. But going on the tight end position, so Tyree Jackson made it initially, but I believe I read from Mike Kay that he was not supposed to make the initial roster because he was going to make the initial roster, but they were going to put him on IR as soon as possible. So Ertz and Goddard are obviously on the team. Whole Ertz saga the past week, we know he wants to be an Eagle now. He's kind of over that stuff. We'll see if that's true or not.
Oh,
That last deadline.
did you see that the Vikings initially wanted to trade for Goddard?
I did not. Oh, I did see that. I did see
Yeah.
that briefly. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
I
interesting
think
because Irv Smith got hurt, right?
Yeah, that's why they did it. I actually had Herb Smith in my fantasy league, one of my
Mm-hmm.
fantasy leagues, but thankfully it wasn't like a keeper or like a dynasty league, because if it was, well, I kind of wanted that to happen, but since it wasn't, I wasn't totally screwed that it wasn't a dynasty league, because
Mm-hmm.
when he got hurt, I had to drop him. Same thing with Jarvis Etienne. I had to drop both players. It
Yeah.
sucked, but that's just the reality of it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's why they did it. Irv Smith he got injured. He's out for like 6 to 8 months. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely hurts. Definitely hurts. But
Mhm.
Jalen hurts. But, but I want to ask you too on the tight end position, we obviously have Zach Ertz and Goddard, but Jack Stoll I was hoping was going to make the roster because I like him, but I didn't think he showed enough to. He did make the roster though, and then it sounds like Richard Rodgers didn't make the initial roster, but from what I heard, there's a good chance they're going to bring him back in week 2 for the rest of the season because his contract won't be fully guaranteed. That's what I read. So it sounds like he's going to be back at some point, but. What do you think of Jack Stoll making the team? Because I've heard we've been using him a little bit at fullback in practice and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see what kind of role he plays come this season.
Honestly, I like it because
Mm-hmm.
thankfully they kept Tyree Jackson. Honestly, he could take Dallas Goddard's job in the future if he just keeps just producing something for the coaches. It won't happen, but it could be thrown out
Mm-hmm.
there. But I like that we kept Jack Stoll because he's young, fresh, young body. Just use him in all sorts of ways.
Right.
Um, and I like it. No way, Big Fridge. It's not happening. I'm not trading you Darren Waller, but uh, yeah. But when it comes to like, what was this? What was I just saying? Stoll. Thank you. Stoll. I like it because it's a fresh young body. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to trade or cut young bodies because Nick Sirianni, what he wants to do is develop players. That's what his system is about.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like that we're keeping younger players. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Hightower, he got back on the roster. Maybe they can switch his motive. Maybe they can get him back to the old Hightower who actually cared about the game of football.
Right.
But like, good that we're keeping young tight ends and young players all around the board and building around Jalen Hurts. I like that.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
agree. I think it makes a lot of sense. I know when I went back and watched some of Sirianni's tape in Indianapolis, there's a guy, Ryan Hewitt, who was kind of a fullback slash tight end hybrid, but they would use him on a lot of like slant flat pick routes where he'd just go out in the flat and just be kind of pick guy and one guy would get open and just little things like that. And I think Stoll's, he's got a nice frame to him. He could definitely do something like that. I've heard he's a solid blocker. Haven't watched too much of his blocking tape, to be honest, but I would like to see him play some fullback. I don't think fullback's something that's essential for our offense, but I think it's just an extra thing you can add into the offense to make it a little more unpredictable and just showed some different looks to the defense too. Just keep them off balance with the personnel you're running and all that. But I agree with you. Like it makes a lot of sense just to keep some young players in the fold or more young players in the fold with the way we're going to be building the next couple of years. This is going to be this rebuild's going to take some time. And I would say more retool. That's the word I would use for it, but it's going to take some time. This year there's going to be a lot of building to do, even individually with certain players. And I think the way you do that is you get some of these young guys in game reps when they're ready for it, right? There's a balance between when they're ready and when they're not. But yeah. So going on, want to go into the offensive line now?
Yeah, I just want to give a couple shout outs in the chat real quick.
Go for it.
It's good, Audie, and I don't know if you want to get to this. B-Hope says that it sucks that the Bears cut wide receiver Rodney Adams. He didn't make the squad.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. Rodney Adams, I was honestly shocked that he got cut off that team. But yeah, I don't know if you want to get on that. But what's good, Big Bridge? He says that the Eagles are going 3-14 and drafting Spencer Rattler. No, I'm good. I'm not a Spencer Rattler, so I don't want to. What's good?
I just don't want to have to draft a quarterback in general.
Yeah,
that'll just put a wrench in our plans.
Yeah, I just want to keep one, honestly. What's good? Verify school? I don't know. What's good, Philly girl? Oh my god, bro. Oh yeah, yeah. I already got to that. But you can keep going on the offensive line.
Yeah. So offensive line, I mean, mostly clear cut, I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, go for it. Mostly clear cut, I would say. So obviously you have Mailata, Samalu, Kelsey, Brooks, Johnson. Then you're gonna have Dillard play left tackle. I mean, Dillard obviously there's stuff going on there, but we knew he was probably gonna make the team if he didn't get traded. Interior, you're gonna have Herbig. Herbig, I love just because he can play center if you need him to. I know he did snap that ball over Flacco's head, but if desperate times call for desperate measures, Herbig's not the worst option in the world at center. They were training him there, I believe, his rookie year. You still have him. He can play left and right guard easily. I mean, he's a great pass protector there. He's lost weight, so he can get better in the run game too, which I love. And yeah, now you have Dickerson. Dickerson got activated now, which is super cool. I think he's going to play at some point this season, whether it's due to injury or maybe, I know some people have said probably won't play left guard this year, Samal, but I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance he could. I still think Samal is a very above average guard, though, so I'm cool with him being in there. I mean, I know he gets a few.
Conference.
Yeah. Oh, easily. I mean, I know he gets some holding calls here and there, but he's very, very solid. And when he was out last year, you noticed it too. Like there were points where when Matt Pryor or Opeda was in, or you name it, I mean, it was just not the same. So, yeah, going on. I mean, Driscoll, unfortunate he got put on IR. That sucks.
Wait, how long for?
So I think that means he's going to miss the first 6 weeks. So,
dang it. I honestly want to see him. It's good though because he's going to be our future right tackle. We all think.
Yeah, Driscoll's going to be a stud. And they're training him at right guard too. So if they needed Brandon Brooks replacement or anything, whichever spot I think they need him at, I mean, I think he's going to be solid. So, and then the last one, I think the only person I missed who made the team was Brett Toth, which was interesting. I know he had a good preseason, but during the season last year, I mean, he only really played limited snaps, but he didn't play too well, didn't play too bad either. He came from Army, and I think when he was there, they ran a lot of triple options. So when he's been adjusting to the league, I mean, it's been a little bit of time since he's been at Army, but definitely has had to work on his pass protection because they just weren't running a ton of pass protection at Army. But I think he looked good this preseason. He earned a shot. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he has to, I shouldn't say I'm looking forward to seeing him play because I hope he doesn't have to get on the field at all. But I'm looking forward to seeing his development continue. So, yeah, you know what? He earned a spot. I'm glad they rewarded him for it. But I was hoping that Coyote Awashika would have made the team because I think Gate City said they were training him at multiple spots. I've heard good things about him coming out of training camp. I didn't keep too close of an eye on him, to be honest, in the preseason game. So I'd have to go back and watch the film and really see whether I think he should have made the team or not. But I'm happy he made the practice squad. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really just happy that Sua Opeda and Matt Pryor are not on the team anymore, to be honest. I didn't like either of them.
Yeah, Opeda sometimes, man, like, I think the first time we played the Giants, he was getting destroyed. Like, that was a game
Johnson was so bad.
Yeah.
I know exactly what game you're talking about because I can, literally retrace my steps from before that game because I remember how bad he was that day.
Yeah, like, Lane Johnson was going in and out. Opeda was not good in that game. So, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when Lane had that ankle thing. That was terrible.
B-Hub says, honestly, I think y'all are finishing 6-11. I could see that because we're
I can see that.
But I don't think it will happen. I think we'll win one more game than that, but it could happen. He says y'all have a great offensive line and also have good depth, and I agree.
Yes, we have a lot of good depth there.
What's up, Joseph Balby? How are you doing, man? We says, hey guys, how are you doing? Lucas, what's up, man? He says, bro, I was just playing basketball and I injured my ankle real bad. Don't know if it's broken. I'm so pissed because it's my freshman season coming up. Man, I feel so bad. I feel so bad, man, because, it's also my freshman season. I don't know if I should play basketball this year because I'm still healing my knee. But man, that sucks, man. I can only imagine the pain you're feeling right now. Hopefully you're doing okay. He says Hunter.
Keep you in prayer, Lucas. Thanks, Balby. Balby, I got to collab with you sometime, my man. I'm always seeing your streams.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Nate talk sports, man. Just basically part of the Eagles community, to be honest.
He's growing, man. That kid's growing real quick. But yeah, back to the offensive line. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Hunter, the Philly Insider podcast. Go do it.
Appreciate it.
Pin your channel link in at the top of the description so they know where they can find you. Let's put it up there. But if you can go back to the offensive line, that would definitely be greatly appreciated. All right.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, I think that was all I had to say, to be honest. So, do you want another rundown of just who made it?
I'm gonna go after. I'm just gonna go after. Just say a couple things about the offensive line. I pretty much said everything I need to say for the most part. The only thing I would add is really, I'm a little sad that my guy Luke Juriga got hurt early in the preseason. That's my dog. I was hoping he was gonna have a shot at the roster, especially with Dickerson out most of the preseason and the potential of him missing the first 6 weeks on IR. I was hopeful Juriga could earn that backup center spot, but he got hurt, unfortunately. So I still like him. I think he could be a solid player down the road, but that was really all I had to add to it, to be honest. Yeah. Thank you, Philly girl.
Thank you, Philly girl.
Philly Insider Passes links. That's where you can find it. Please go check their channel out. 525 subscribers. Go check these guys out, man. They're legends and all right. They've been doing it for a year, I think, right?
A little over a year now. Yeah.
Y'all started around COVID or whatever. So go check these guys out. Let's get them to 600. And yes, I just saw that at Big Bridge.
Did he go to the Lakers?
I don't know. I don't know where he went. I just saw it pop up. I didn't see the team, but
gotcha.
What I have to say about the offensive line is I'm just equipped to what we have at our starters. Because if what's his face? If Isaac Seumalo and Jordan Mailata are the worst players on that offensive line, that just shows you how good our offensive line is. And to be honest, man, Jordan Mailata has all the potential in the world. If that's our left tackle of the future, then we have a lot of holes that we don't have to fill at the position, because ever since Jason Peters left, we can never really find a left tackle. And the one we drafted in the first round, Andre Dillard, he's our backup. So I'm kind of happy with what I see at the offensive line position. Isaac Seumalo, he's underrated. You said the holding stuff. That's the only thing he has to work on. But the offensive line is very good as of right now, and our depth is even better. That's just how good it is. Disco went down. It's okay because he's going to come back week 7. He's on the IR right now, but most of the depth that we have there is very good. So I like what we have. Landon Dickerson, the guy we drafted. We have guys like Dickerson, Juriga. Did Juriga get cut?
He got injured the first week of the preseason, so he's on IR. So we got to stash him, kind of like we did with Mailata a couple years ago, where he got hurt. We just stashed him on the IR. So
Juriga's underrated. He honestly is.
Yeah. I love him. That's my guy.
I watched some type of tape on him, and he's solid, man. He's solid.
He's a good player.
Juriga. We have guys like Dickerson, Juriga, Driscoll. We have Andre Dillard as our backup left tackle, so we have a lot of depth there. Yeah. And Jordy says all we need to worry about on the offensive line is the depth, and that's not too much. That's not much of a problem right now. I agree.
Not at all.
Yeah. And Lucas said DeAndre Jordan went to the Pistons. Okay. Solid. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's keep going.
Defensive line. So defensive end, it was Graham. So I'm actually lied. I didn't pull it up on my phone. I'm just going off the top of my head right now, but I'll check after. But it's Graham, Sweat, Barnett, Kerrigan, and Taron Jackson, I think, made the defensive end spot. So, yeah, I mean, I love that position. look, I think Graham, I mean, not much to say there. The dude's been he's been a vet's vet. I mean, the dude's just been experienced. He's continued to work hard. And he had a really, really nice season last year. He cooled off at certain points, but overall, just again, consistent. Like you can consistently expect him to get around 8 sacks a year and be a major force in the run game, which I think a lot of people, with defensive end, it's all about the sacks, which is important, a lot about the pressures too. I think Brandon Graham does a really good job of, even when he's not getting sacks, he's getting pressure on the quarterback and being able to fight all game long. And he adjusts very well. He makes in-game adjustments to continue to beat offensive tackles. And I also think that, like I said, like one of the better run defenders I've watched in my time, at least. Because I think, a lot of defensive ends, it's about the pass rush, but like last night I was watching the Ohio State game and Zach Harrison made a huge run stop where he just literally pancaked.
You saw CJ Stroud in the game. He's solid.
Yeah, CJ had a really good second half for sure. First half I was a little worried for him, but Zach Harrison just like pummeled one of the offensive linemen and didn't get the tackle, but he just completely closed the lane for the running back. Muhammad Ibrahim, by the way, who's a really good running back too. Like he's not easy to get down, but he forced him into traffic and they got him down on a third down. So just that point being with that, Brandon Graham, I think just does it all at the defensive end position. And then Sweat, I always say this, I might have called his breakout year 1 year early because I think it might happen this year, but I called it last year. I was feeling real good about it the first couple of weeks and then cooled off, had some injury issues, but still had a really nice year last year. And the moments when he came up, he was so key. Like all of the situations he came up in were huge. And Barnett, I'm holding that hope that he's kind of like that late bloomer type of guy, like Brandon Graham was, because Brandon Graham took some time to develop too. But he's on his 5th year option. Look, he's got to perform this year. I mean, I think big thing with Barnett too that people don't talk about enough is some of the silly penalties that man gets, just like helmet to helmet. Just roughing the passer like way late after quarterback's gotten rid of the ball. Just like some silly penalties, like just discipline, I think is a big thing with him too. And just being a little more consistent. I mean, I'm not expecting this dude to get 20 sacks a year, but I would certainly, I would take around 8-10 from him, I think would be a good range to sit. And but I think like all three of those guys are so good in the run game, especially Barnett and Graham. And then Kerrigan, I'm super excited to see him hopefully rush from a stand-up position and more so hand in the dirt, but also somewhat out of a stand-up position. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing him play. And Taron Jackson, I'm super excited he made the team. I thought I thought he was really explosive in the preseason. Like his get off the line, I thought was really impressive because, obviously when you're playing alongside Jaquan Bailey, Tui Pelotu, and some of those guys, it's easy for your get off to look good. But there was a rep where I saw him and Milton Williams get off the line, and Milton might have been a little bit more tired because he had been playing a ton, but Taron got off the line just so quick. And I think it was really cool to see that. He's really good with, you saw him, he demonstrated a spin move. He's good at the swim move. Just beating tackles inside is one of his strengths. So I'm hype he made the team. I didn't think he was going to make it, to be honest. I thought they were only going to keep 4 guys and then have Milton kind of as that hybrid. And also, since you had Pat Johnson and Jannard Avery as like they're going to come down to the box or the line of scrimmage every so often, maybe they would not see as much of a need. But I'm super hyped that Taron Jackson made it. And BLSG, dude,
100%, man. Dude. 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, holy moly.
Off last night.
Yeah.
See those cuts he was making? You see that one cut where he hit the hole in this jump cut?
Bro, Minnesota knows how to develop players. Like, they developed Rashad Bateman. He was there for a couple of years. And I honestly, you know how I love Rashad Bateman. He's going to be a older man. Like,
I'm sad that he ended up with the Ravens, though, because I feel like with their run off, like I feel like Bateman in any other offense would just put up so much more. He's going to put up a lot more numbers. Yeah. I think he's still going to be a beast and take advantage of every rep he gets. But
but honestly, I feel like it's good that he went to Baltimore in some ways because now we kind of have like an understanding of who the number 1 is. Like Marquise Brown, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't no number 1 in my opinion. Like he's he's a number 2. Maybe so. That sucks BLSG because he was torching, and I mean torching Ohio State's defense. Like he literally obliterated them. Yeah, and Jordy says it was a mix of losing Ibrahim and the failure of the defense to get stops that cost Minnesota the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they put a ton of guys down in the line at the line of scrimmage and on the box, and then no one had Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
There was no chance after once you give him a little bit of space, he's gone. So he's a
Yeah.
freshman too, which is super cool to see him. He only had like 3 touches last night, but all 3 touches he did something. So
Yeah. Of course I do, Big Fritz. What are you talking about? Everyone wants Kevon Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau is a beast, man.
Oh my god, bro, he's an animal. I'm an Auburn fan though. Bo Nix is gonna have a great year this year. Y'all watch out for Bo Nix. No, I'm playing. Hopefully he does good this year. But the D line, yeah,
he's got a chance.
Yeah, we were talking about the D line. You mentioned it. About the D line, the starters, they look good as always. They're a bunch of beasts. We had Milton Williams in that hybrid role. You said, he's a beast. Teron Jackson, he has really good explosiveness off the line. He is a monster, freak of nature. We picked him up in the later rounds, 6th, 5th round, something like that. And Patrick Johnson, another guy that you interviewed actually. You and your boys interviewed him. So I like that you interviewed him, but he's been looking good. He's been looking solid. I like that we kept him. Bo Nix, bro. You watch out for him, bro. You watch out for Bo Nix, bro. He's gonna go nuts.
My buddy went to Auburn his freshman year. He transferred, but he used to walk by Bo Nix like every day walking to class.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Bo Nix, bro, he could have a good season, but at the same time, like, there's no weapons around him. Like, both of the guys that were there went to
Seth Williams and someone else left, right?
Yeah, Seth Williams, I think, left. Seth Williams, and I forgot the other one.
I know who you're talking about. I'm completely blanking on who it was.
God, bro, I'm an Auburn fan. How should I should know this.
I got us. I'm gonna look us up. Auburn NFL. I'm pretty sure they both got drafted.
Yes, they both did get drafted.
I knew Seth Williams. We're both gonna feel stupid when we remember this.
Oh my God, big
Anthony Schwartz. I can't believe that I didn't remember.
Anthony Schwartz. Yes, he went to the Browns. Yes. I've completely forgot about my boy Anthony Schwartz. He was like a player that had potential, but at the same time, like it was like the back end of the season, he wasn't doing that well. He still was creating separation here and there, but he's more like those like little, just guys that are glitchy receivers, and that's basically what it is with him. What did Joe Castro?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah. What up, D Biggie? How are you doing too, man? If you haven't already, subscribe to the Philly Insider Podcast, the pinned link in the description. In the chat. Go sub to the Philly Insider Podcast, and those guys are amazing. You are right.
It.
This is 100% true.
Good old Andrew Thomas.
So we were talking about the D line. We mentioned Milton Williams, not Hassan Ridgeway. We mentioned Williams and Teron Jackson. The starters, we don't even have to really mention those guys. The depth we have there is very solid. We have Sweat, Kerrigan. Honestly, I think Sweat could start over Barnett. But what it looks like right now, Barnett is going to start, I think.
Yeah. I don't have too much intel on that or anything, but I think they're both going to split snaps. Regardless of who starts. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Barnett does start just because he's more experienced and he's a first-round pick. So I don't really have much to add to that. But
DLG says Minnesota quarterback. I've heard about Tanner Morgan actually. People mention him a lot, so I've heard of him.
Yeah, they were saying on the broadcast. They were saying that PJ Fleck, the obviously Minnesota head coach, he was saying that he wants Tanner Morgan, at some point in his career, he's going to be his offensive coordinator. He wants Tanner Morgan to be his offensive coordinator because he's so knowledgeable about the game and just a leader. But I don't want to be rude, but doesn't really have the skill set to play in the NFL, I guess you could say, or Just sometimes there was one throw last night where he tried to throw it off his back foot and overthrew it a little bit, and then it got picked off. Just little things like that you just got to get better at. But he's really good at just commanding an offense, being methodical down the field. So I could see him being a CJ Beathard type career backup, or Chase Daniel. But I do wish the best for the guy, and I hope he proves me wrong the rest of the season, and I'm higher on him by the draft.
For sure. Yep. Yes, CJ Stroud is good. I'm not the biggest fan, but he did good yesterday. I will say that. But next year's quarterback class is solid. What's good, Nina Austin? How are you doing, lady? How are you doing, ma'am? I should say. What you guys hoping to see in playoffs? The NFL or which one? I'm assuming she's saying the playoffs in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we're in the playoffs.
1,000%. Yeah. I just want to see some fun classic games.
Right.
I don't want to see the same Super Bowl every single year where Tom Brady beats Mahomes again, or Mahomes beats another team again, or something like that. I want to see a Bills or Cardinals Super Bowl, because that's a fun Super Bowl, or Browns, Cardinals, I guess, the Sooner Bowl, I guess. Both NBA and NFL. Yeah. I want to see, of course, the Lakers in the finals. And I want to see a new team out of the East now that the Bucks finally got there. I want to see if they can repeat, or any other team, goes there. But yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
I mean, NFL playoffs is so far away. I feel like it's so early, and NBA too.
Yeah,
I just got over. I mean, I'm still getting over the Sixers getting bounced out of the second round. So
I'm still getting over the Lakers getting bounced out by the Suns in the first round.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, but back to the defensive line. This is the initial defensive line right now. Barnett, Graham, Jackson, Kerrigan, and Sweat are our initial defensive ends. And then at the defensive tackle position, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, Tui Pelutu, and Milton Williams. That's our defensive tackles. Linebackers, we have Avery, we have Bradley, Edwards, Johnson, Singleton, Taylor, Eric Wilson. Honestly surprised that we kept that many linebackers. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Can I touch on the defensive tackle position real quick too?
Yep.
Yeah. So Cox, I mean, obviously that's not much need to be said. Hargrave, I think Hargrave is going to have a really, really good year. Just playing in a 4-3 again. He really came on at the end of the season last year, and big plus line. My boy Ian is not a big Hargrave fan because we signed. The big thing is that we signed him before signing any corners that free agency. But I always just think I know the order of it didn't make sense, but sometimes it's how things play out in free agency. Sometimes you negotiate with other guys earlier than you do with others.
Were we running a 3-4 last year?
4-3.
We were running a 4-3, right? So
yeah.
We'll go back to that. I honestly don't even want to say Hargraves is I don't want to be rude to Hargraves or anything, because last year it was a major fluke season. So honestly, I think we'll have a better season this year, especially if there's step-up competition. The challenges will be a little bit easier, but you can keep going.
Yeah. I think Hargrave's going to have a much improved season. I'm calling a breakout year for him. I really did like what I saw at the end of the year for him. Milton, looking forward to seeing him. I wonder. I know he played. Yeah, yes sir, IDB. But I know we played Milton Williams a little more at edge this preseason, but I still expect him to play in the interior as well. He's listed as defensive tackle for a reason, but it's nice to have a hybrid guy like that though, and just be able to move guys along the line. I think that's something we've done so much the past few years, is a lot of different packages where we have, 4 defensive ends on the field and 2 on the interior, or we have Cox and 3 defensive ends around him and stuff like that. I think just having a guy like Milton Williams, who's so versatile, helps out a ton. And then Tui Pelutu was the one I was really, really surprised with. I'll just say this, based off of what I saw in the preseason, I was shocked that Tui Pelutu made the team. And maybe they were afraid just with his size and his potential, that he would have been picked up on waivers by someone else, which I think is a valid concern. I just hate giving guys a roster spot when they played the way he did, because I saw him get pancaked a good amount of times and he just couldn't hold his ground in the run game. But hey, I mean, I'm still not ruling out him producing in years 2 and 3 as like a big run stopper, especially. But I didn't see it for him making the roster this year. So I know T.Y. McGill's on COVID reserve right now, which sucks because I thought he really deserved a spot. And I believe Hassan Ridgeway was brought back the other day.
He was brought back on waivers, I think, on the practice squad. I don't know. That's what I saw originally.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only complaint I have about the group is Tui Pelotu, and he's young, so I'm going to give him time to put it together.
100%. I'm kind of, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he took a roster spot over Hassan Ridgeway, because even though I feel like Ridgeway had a bad offseason, we didn't see the same Ridgeway we saw like before he got to the Eagles, the one that was on the Colts. He was a stud, honestly. But I just didn't feel like he would have a good offseason. That's why I felt like he was going to be a surprise cut, even though many of you guys may not know who he is. But I honestly think Ridgeway should have kept the roster spot over Marlon Tui Pelutu, and we probably should have put in Tui Pelutu on the practice squad, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I don't have much else to add to that. You want to go into linebackers now?
Yeah. Before we do that, Packers go to read my last. Hurts is going to be a beast. I agree. Hurts is definitely going to be a beast. And one more question he asks is, he says, is Darius Slay still a top 12 cornerback? I'm not going to be biased, but I still think he is a top 12 cornerback. I think he's pushing out of the top 10 range, because now you have guys like Jair Alexander in this race, who's like really freaking good. Howard. I can keep going. Kyle Fuller. But yeah, I still think top 12. You want to get that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I would still say he's close to top 12. I wouldn't be mad if someone said top 15, top 20, just because of it's not even him. It's more so just that there's a lot of elite corners today, and Slay is still really good. I think, especially last year, I know a lot of people coming into that season, I remember pointing out with Sanjay, like that 4-game stretch he had was literally going to be impossible to hold up. And not to mention he had a groin injury, I think it was. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him for that. Like every other game, pretty much, he held guys Terry McLaurin was pretty much taken out of the equation against Darius Slay. A couple other guys too, like some other names in the league that he took out of games. But I definitely think he's really good, but I don't know if I'd put him in that like elite category anymore, like top 5, top 10 guys, depending on what you consider top 10 to be elite or above average. But you get my point, though.
He's still a respectable corner. Like,
absolutely.
You want to throw the ball in his way because he's a sneaky cornerback. He has pushing out of the top 20 just a little bit. He's still a top 12, top 13-ish corner. Big Fridge, you stop it. Big Fridge.
Dang.
This is a Falcons fan. So
he's a Falcons fan?
Yeah.
So he's getting ready for next week.
Yeah. You get ready to take that butt whooping. But what's good, B. Christensen? How are you doing, man? This is a Packers fan, if you didn't know. It's kind of easy to tell. The name is literally Cheesy B. But yeah, as soon as we talk about Jair Alexander, he joins. So yeah,
good timing.
We'll go back to the linebackers. And I don't know if you subbed to Hunter and the Philly Insider podcast already, B. Christensen, but go subscribe to them. Please help them get to 600 subscribers. But let's go back to the linebackers.
I always sub back too. So if you shoot me a comment on our most recent video, I'll get you back. So I know YouTube doesn't like to do sub for sub, but I do it anyway.
Yeah. Of course. Here we go. Yes, Jair Alexander is really good. He put some of the best receivers on lock last year. That boy's a stud. Let's go to the linebackers. We have Avery, Bradley, Edwards, Johnson, Singleton, Taylor, Wilson. Wilson and Singleton should be our starters. No surprise there. Both guys are beasts. But I feel like we kept a lot of linebackers, and I'm really surprised. I don't know how you feel about this, but you can go.
Yeah, I would agree with you, man. I did have 7 on my 53-man prediction, but I'll be honest, I was not confident in that at all. Like, I didn't think that was. It's funny. This is actually like the only position on the roster I actually predicted every player right, because there's always like 1 or 2 players you miss at each position. I feel like, but the quarterback was the easiest one, but I was surprised I got all the linebackers. I thought there was going to be a lot of surprises in this group, but yeah, like you said, Wilson and Singleton, they're going to be your starters, right? Wilson's the most experienced. He's going to play the Mike and the Will. Singleton, pretty much same there. You're going to see him play both spots as well, probably more so the Will. But I'm excited to see. What both of them do as a tandem together, because I think Singleton looked a lot better in pass coverage this preseason. I think he, in play action last year, I think we saw him go downhill a little bit too much at times, but this year he, was able to, eye up the keys on the offensive line, whether it was the offensive lineman or there are 3 interior guys or tight ends chipping or whatever it was. I think he did a good job pinning his ear back and also just seeking depth. I think he did a really good job just relating to his zone and zone coverage. So I'm feeling good about him. Wilson, you know how I feel about him, Slay. I mean, I think he's got some issues in run coverage. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Hunter, he had like 100 plus tackles last year, because a lot of the teams ran the ball right at him, and he kind of got bowled over too. But I won't discredit that he, a lot of times is in the right place at the right time in run stopping as well. I don't think he's a terrible run stopper. I think it's more so just the frame. Like, he's just not the biggest linebacker, but I think he's going to be good in pass coverage as well. And Singleton, I think, is going to, having him alongside Wilson to play there with, I think is going to be nice for hopefully Wilson to kind of feed off of him, because Singleton and run coverage is just like everywhere. He knows where he needs to be. Rest of the group, the Sam position is obviously going to be
That's
Avery
what I was going to ask you. That's what I was just going to ask you about the Sam position.
Yep, yeah. So it's going to be Avery and Pat Johnson. They cut Joe Osman, which poor Joe Osman, man. I mean, the dude just keeps coming back every preseason and gets put on the practice squad. But respect to the man. I don't know. Did he get put on our practice squad this year? I feel like I didn't see him there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he got put on the practice squad.
Dang, poor guy. He'll get picked up somewhere, but because he's a hustler. But yeah, so the Sam position, they are going to play in the box at times, but they're also are on the 4-3 underlook. That's a big thing I think they have. I believe it's from Mike Zimmer's scheme. That I just know a lot of this from Gate City. Told me about this. They're going to bring that over from Zimmer's scheme, where it's going to be 4-3, but they're going to roll the Sam down to the line of scrimmage. So you're going to have your defensive ends and defensive tackles there, but you're also going to have a stand-up rusher there on the outside, which is obviously, Avery did a lot of that in Cleveland, more so in a 3-4, I think, his rookie year. And I think all of his sacks came out of his stand-up position. And then Pat Johnson, very versatile guy. Like I said, we both got to, or me and Sanjay, no, I think it was just me who interviewed him that time. But the channel, we got to interview him. Pat Johnson, I really liked him pre-draft. I know, I think he was a steal in the 7th round. So I'm super hyped he made the team. I think he's going to be able to do whatever is asked of him, and I think he's going to play a good bit. And then as far as the rest of the group, you got TJ Edwards for run stopping. I mean, I think he's been better in pass coverage too. 10, 20 years ago, he would have been like a Brian Urlacher, big type of guy in the middle. Like, he would have been your prototypical linebacker, but not so much anymore. I think he's still going to contribute. And Davion, I'm interested to see what Davion does, because he's obviously coming up on a big, big year, because last year, whenever he played in the game, I shouldn't say that. Whenever he played on defense, when he ever had defensive snaps, it just wasn't what you would have hoped. And I know the instincts was the big thing we talked about, was that he has the athleticism, he has the strength and the burst to play linebacker. And if he can put the instincts together this year and next year, man, is he going to be a really good player, because he already has the athleticism to play special teams. But and I saw you just saw Big Fridge's comment, but I saw it was work. But.
So, I'm just paying attention to what he's saying. I'm just it's hilarious sometimes. I don't want to like anytime I have like a guest on here, and I try to focus on like what the guest is saying, but it's so hard because he just says like the funniest stuff in the chat.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm having a little trouble staying like on task right now. That's why I'm shifting my words a little bit.
I
Because of
just
those
hit
comments,
the I just hit the comments. I just hit them. I'm not even focusing on that anymore. But yo, what's up, Nate Talk Sport?
Nate, what's up, buddy?
What up, yo, Blinks? Love all support to you. But you can keep going, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost finished. Yeah, Davion, I'm really interested to see how he develops and if he can play on defense. And then, yeah, Sean Bradley, I was a little disappointed. I didn't think he played that well this preseason. I'm a big Sean Bradley guy. I think he, was missing tackles, not taking great angles to the ball carrier and stuff like that. But especially after he played really well in the regular season last year. So I was surprised to see that. But I still think he can be a situational guy, and at the least he's a special teamer. And look, the dude's a hard worker. Like, he's one of the hardest workers on this roster. So he's going to stick around on the roster no matter what because of that. But yeah, I like the youth here. We just got to develop a few of these guys so that we can have some mainstays there.
100%. I like the depth that we have there. I think this is the weakest position on the team. But now that we kept like 7 of our linebackers, I think it has the chance to be the most depth position. Like, it has the most depth there. You have 7 linebackers. You have guys like Adri at the same position. I like that we're doing it. A lot of players that you like on here, like Singleton, Wilson. Singleton, some of the plays that he had last year, defenses were just testing him, because anytime you're in a situation where Michael Kendricks is a beast. He was the starting linebacker. He gets injured, and then he comes in, and then Kendricks he gets injured, and then Wilson, he starts to play good football. But yes, he missed a lot of like tackles here and there, but some of the tackles came to him. But I like the guy. He has so much potential. Him and Singleton are a really good duo. I can't wait to watch that every Sundays, man. Singleton, bro, he gives me so much hope. No way, Corey. No way.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do that.
Is that a Niners fan?
What's good? Yeah, he's a Niners fan. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What up, MG, bro? How you doing, bro? How has your day been? Yeah, a lot of linebackers at position there. I like the linebackers that we kept. Patrick Johnson, very high on him, as you are too. Singleton, Taylor. I feel like I'm getting the vibes with Darius Leonard, because like Gannon comes from Indy. Leonard, he was like a guy that no one expected to ball out like that. I kind of get that same feeling with him. Will he be Leonard? Absolutely not. But he has the potential.
Right.
And I like what I see from the guy. He's a guy that you can just like use him in so many ways. Like coverage, he's there. He's like, he can play him at safety. He can move around, and he's just a beast. And I love him. He's a beast, for sure.
Yeah. Fred Warner is another name that comes to mind. So.
Warner.
Again, not going to be Warner at all.
He's like the Niners fan just joined. What's up, Hunter? He didn't say he will be like Fred Warner. He's just throwing it out there.
Right. Fred Warner is my LB1 in all of football, so that's the respect for it. Him and it's really even hard for me to put him over Leonard, because they're both like LB1 in the league. But
Roquan is my boy, bro. No one respects.
Roquan's good too.
Yeah. I still think it's for Warner, but like,
I agree.
Smith never gets the props that he deserves, and he's a beast, bro. He's a player.
Dude, I remember when we were when Carson Wentz was rumored to the Bears, people were talking about us getting Roquan in return. I'm like, and I know people are saying positional value. I'm like, you want to talk about positional value? Roquan's basically the quarterback of that defense. I mean, like, that's how I view it. So
yeah. The Bears.
Like, there's no way we're getting Roquan in return after Carson, how he played last year.
The Bears and Ryan Pace would have been looking foolish if they did that. Like, are you seriously going to trade your best? Honestly, I can argue he's the best player on that team. Honestly. Will Mack is probably the best player on that team. But Roquan Smith is a beast. A-Rob, too. Roquan is a beast. So that boy is a beast. He's a demolisher in games. And what's good, Coach Sante, and what's good, Eagles Talk from Delco. one more time, I'm gonna say this: subscribe to the Philly Insider podcast. Please go do it, man. They gained a couple subs in the stream, so keep doing
Appreciate
that.
that, man.
Keep subscribing to them. Like the stream, go share it out with your friends or whatever. Let's just keep going through this 53-man roster. Corners. We didn't get to that yet. Avonte Maddox, McPherson, Slay, Scott, Nelson.
Mm-hmm. And then I keep forgetting his name. The Colts corner is going to replace Scott, right?
His first name is Andre. That's all I know.
Okay.
Andre, yeah. Andre Chicharsi.
Oh, yeah. Share.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll learn it, but.
Rich MC says, Hunter, Rhode Island.
So I do have the Rhode Island Rams sweatshirt on. True story behind this is that I really just I kind of bandwagoned them during one March Madness, and I love their color scheme, so I bought the hoodie. But not really. What'd you say?
Facts. I just said facts, man. I like.
Yeah, when they were an 11 seed, I had them going like to the Elite Eight, and I think they went to the Sweet 16 and lost a close one to Oregon. So they were and they had a guy named Iverson on the team too. So of course I had to support them. But
yeah,
I love the hoodie though. It's just a great hoodie.
It's clean, man. No lie, it's clean.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. What up, Eagle? How you doing, bro? Yes, sir, man. What's good, man? Let's go to these.
MG Nas.
Yeah,
the boy.
MG.
Got my Lions fan in here with me. Big play slide.
Oh my god, bro. Y'all too, man. Y'all just be playing around. But the cornerbacks, we have a lot of feisty corners on this team. We got Maddox, McPherson, Nelson, Scott, Slay. Intrigued to see who wins the nickel. Looks like Avonte Maddox wins that position. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if McPherson or Josiah Scott won because I think we have 3 really good nickels. But what'd you think about the initial cornerbacks?
Yeah, Slay, Nelson, pretty clear cut there. The only thing I would note on Nelson is I'm interested to see how he does coming off of statistically and, even just from eye test too. Obviously his worst season in recent years, which was uncharacteristic of him, but I think he's going to be better this year. I don't think he's going to be like he was last year, but I do want to put that out there just because, I know there's a lot of hope around him, but Eagles fans are going to say, oh, of course, when he comes here, he's garbage now. And I wouldn't be surprised because Roby Coleman was too, after Roby Coleman was great as a slot corner there. But Nelson, I think, is going to do a sufficient job on the outside. GZB, it feels weird. I know. It feels weird.
Oh my God, bro. But first of all, B. Christensen, it's not even a video, so you got it wrong there. But
true. Good point,
bro. No lines.
Yeah, Big Play Sly is a big Dan Campbell guy, but but anyway, though, Slay and Nelson, those guys are going to be the outside dudes, and then Maddox, like you said, I think Scott just went on IR too, so Maddox is the clear cut nickel. Which hey, we were all clamoring for him to be the slot last year, so let's see how he does this year. If he doesn't work out of the slot, I think his last hope is free safety. That's where I think he's going to be at. I think he'd be great at free safety just because of the speed he has, but it's obviously an adjustment after playing corner all these years. McPherson, good in practice from what I heard, not so good in the actual games in preseason. But look, he's young, he's a rookie. Got to give him some time. Got to give him at least like 2-3 years before we can make really a full assessment on him. But I'm excited to see him. I think, like you said, he's feisty. Like he's got the mentality, I think, to play the position. You just got to be able to learn the technique and back it up for sure. So I think, he's going to be the first outside backup just based on the depth chart we have, obviously. But, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in his career he ended up being more of a slot. I'm not going to rule that out. And then, Andre Cherish or whatever his name is. I'm in French mode, so Cherish is the word in French, so I'll just go with that. So it sounds like he's going to be a slot. I've heard great things about him. I've heard he's a Gann disciple. So, I'm excited to see him play. It sounds like he's got good head on the shoulders, and we'll see. Now that it's really unfortunate Scott got hurt because I thought Scott was having a solid preseason, doing well, helping in the run game, which obviously playing the slot, you're going to have to help out with that too. But it seemed like he was everywhere, and I was excited about him. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what Sheriff does too. And Big Fridge, you got to come on over to my channel, man. I mean, dude, this.
Oh my god, bro! I was just trying to not focus on that, bro. Bro,
Bro,
dude is hilarious, bro. Big Fridge, you are a legend, bro. You
what a
are
guy.
a legend, bro. But yeah, let's go to the safeties.
Mm-hmm.
Epps, Harris, McLeod, Wallace right now. No shocker there.
Mm-hmm.
Some shockers that we had at the safety position is that we released Jacoby Stevens. I don't know if we got him back on the practice squad.
Good question. I don't know if we did put him on the practice squad. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. Have a good one, Emily. You have a safe day. But yeah, I saw that Richie MC. Yep, Weatherspoon.
Yeah.
Steelers. I know some things about him. I kind of wanted the Eagles to sign him a year or two ago, like a slot or like a CB2 next to Slay or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, I mean, the guy's experienced. He's been in the league for a little while, so it'll be cool to see him go over there. And yeah, I mean, he didn't play any games with the Seahawks?
No, he didn't play any games. Yeah, he only played a couple. Yeah,
he's just coming off.
Mm-hmm. They were saying, yeah, they were saying he wasn't doing good this offseason. So
really,
some of the money. Yeah.
So he.
Yeah, you got him on that. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally good.
I was just trying to say, like, the Seahawks, they still have to like pay his money, because they did get him this year, but next year the Steelers will pay it. But you can go.
Gotcha. I think it's the lag a little bit, but yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, if they're going to be paying his money, it makes a lot of sense for the Steelers this year just to pick him up, see what he's got. And, you know, Patrick Robinson, he had a bad preseason before the Super Bowl year and then ended up being one of the most integral parts of that team as the slot corner. So you never know. Maybe he can turn it around. And same goes for all the guys we talked about in this video too, in the preseason too. Like, I don't want to rule that out, but yeah, he's coming off his first 4 years in San Francisco, where obviously he learned under Robert Saleh. You know, that's pretty high name to learn under. Robert Saleh is a really good head coach now, or I think he's going to be a really good head coach in New York. He was a really good D coordinator there. They've done a good job with their defensive backs in San Francisco. So I think it makes a lot of sense for the Steelers, especially they don't have Steven Nelson anymore. They lost Mike Hilton this offseason too. I believe they brought back Cameron Sutton, but you know, they could still use some help back there with Sutton and Hayden. I think could use some help next to them. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Jordy asks, is it time to get a future safety to lead the position and take McLeod-like role? You take this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I think you're going to have to draft someone this upcoming year just because Harris, I think, we'll see how he does this year, obviously, right? Like, if he doesn't play well, we're not going to re-sign him. But, you know, if he does play well, I wouldn't mind re-signing him because, you know, he has familiarity with Gannon. He's a veteran. You know, you can trust him out there. But to play the McLeod role, yeah, that's a great question, man. I mean, he's been injured. He's had 2 season-ending injuries in his time here, and he's getting older. Almost didn't re-sign him the last time, I think. So it's definitely going to be tough to justify. You know, I think for his veteran leadership, you can justify bringing him back. But I think it is time to, even if you bring him back, it's time to start thinking about, like you said, getting a future safety. Like, I know, Jordy, I know you're a big fan of your guy at Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton, who has a lot of potential, and I've heard he's very versatile. And yeah, I think safety, it's been a position where we've had leaders in the past before, like Brian Dawkins, like Ryan McLeod, and there's been others too. Malcolm Jenkins, obviously. Been guys there. So, you know, it's definitely an integral position for leadership, I think.
For sure. It was a little surprising to me that they got rid of Stevens because honestly, I thought they could have developed him. He had a good personality. You know, he seems like a leader, and if anything, that's a guy that could have taken McLeod's like role. Because he's just a leader. I know people want to say he can play that linebacker position, but people regard him as a safety, so he could have taken that position.
Yeah, I did just look up. We did bring him back to the practice squad. So
yeah. I don't want to change the topic, but quick.
Go for it.
And now I'm talking about MG. He was yeah. I don't want to change the topic, but quick question: how many Penn State fans we got up in here? No Penn State in here. No Penn
Not
State
me.
in there either. I'm an Auburn fan. Uh, Hunter, you're a Rhode Island fan?
I mean, I just for basketball mostly, but
Oh, basketball.
I like Temple's my team because they're a Philly team, but they're not really a Power Five school. So my bandwagon Power Five school has always been LSU, and that was what it wasn't a bandwagon in 2019. I was a fan when I was a kid in 2009 when they had Odell and Jarvis on the team. So
Yeah,
I've been LSU. I've been a true LSU. I've stuck with LSU for a while, but they're not like one of my main sports teams that I follow. But I do keep up with them.
I've been a huge Auburn fan for most of my life, man. Like I saw the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
I was a little young, like I was like 6 or 5 or something like that. When that play happened, I still can like visually remember it pretty good.
Yeah.
Chris Davis, that's the hero of the game, man. Chris Davis is a living legend.
Yeah.
I don't know how they thought he was going to make that long kick, man. That was just too long for him to kick it.
Unreal. Yeah, Adam Griffith, I remember him from Alabama.
Yeah, for sure. He was the number 99 kicker, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had that guy Daniel Carlson, right?
Yeah.
He's a good kicker on Las Vegas now.
AJ McCarron also was a quarterback for the Alabama Tigers. I mean,
Yeah.
Alabama Roll Tide.
Forgot about that. Was that back when they had TJ Yeldon as the running back, possibly?
I think TJ Yeldon was on that team. I'm not sure. I just remember he was around like Alabama for like a good minute, and then he went to the NFL. I think he was on the team, if I'm not mistaken.
One of the few Alabama running backs who didn't really pan out in the NFL.
Bro, I remember in like Madden 16 or 17 when that dude was like a 96. And like every single time, I usually like drafted him if I'm like doing like a draft or something. It was the same guy, TJ Yeldon. Like I tried to like rebuild like Alabama team, like only Alabama spell. So yeah,
dude, him and Bo Scarborough are two forgotten heroes. Bo Scarborough in Alabama's one natty run, I think it was just unworldly. I remember that dude would just pull through people.
Yeah, Alabama has produced a lot of great players, man. They just know how to develop them. Nick Saban and his staff, man, they're just geniuses, I guess.
Dude, they're doing things right over there.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get to the specialist, but we'll skip that for just today.
Yeah, we can skip that.
Yep, we've gone over the Minshew trade. We've done the 53-man roster. Now we're just going to do the schedule breakdown of the Eagles season, and then we'll do the week 1 predictions and what to look out for. So I don't know if I'm taking too much of your time because I don't want to waste
it. Dude, you're chilling, bro. I'm totally chilling right now. It's a Friday. I got time, man.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Let's share the screen real quick.
Go for it. Now I wait in awkward silence. Just playing. All right, we got it.
Yeah, we got the schedule up. Let's go to the Chrome tab. Let's go here. Share. Can you see the screen?
It is loading, but now I can see it. Yep, we got it now.
Yep. So here is the Eagles 2021.
Wait, real quick. Do you know Big Fridge in real life?
In real life I don't, but we like he's sometimes in like a Discord that we're in, so I like usually talk to him sometimes. So yeah, he is around there, but I don't know him in real life. But all we know, Big Fridge is a funny character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just saw his recent comment, and I was like, did that happen in person or something?
Yeah. So we have the Eagles schedule up here. Fly Eagles fly.
Yes, sir.
Yep, we got week 1 versus Atlanta. Honestly, we may just go over the Atlanta game real quick. Just what to watch out for or whatever. So week 1 we play the Falcons, Big Bridges team. We should be able to win this game. A very winnable game. So two teams that are gonna rebuild for the future. But who do you have winning this game? What are you watching out for? And do you have any like breakout players of this game?
Yeah. So what I'm watching out for is just how fatigued we'll be come fourth quarter because our first team, I cannot stress this enough, really did not get enough reps this preseason, in my opinion. I wish we would have gotten more reps with the first team. I'm not saying they should have played the whole game, but and I know they played the joint practices, so fatigue, how that sets in.
Yeah,
I think also just the head coaching battle. I mean, I think Arthur Smith and Sirianni are both going to be really, really good play callers. I mean, Arthur Smith was already calling plays in Tennessee, but I think they're both going to do a really good job head coaching. And yeah, I mean, in terms of matchups, I know I was watching your guys' stream the other day where you were talking about Russell Gage. Man, some of our fans got to put some respect on Russell Gage's name. He's a good slot receiver, man. Like he put up 800 yards last year. And look, I know Olamide Zaccheaus, he's not anything crazy, but you're gonna have Slay on Ridley. Ridley's still a beast too. Like, don't count out Ridley maybe getting some yards against Slay either, because Ridley is one of the top receivers in the game today, in my opinion. So at least one of the best route runners, at least. And people forget last year that he put up numbers when Julio Jones was not on the field. So I'm really looking at the wide receiver core for Atlanta because our corners like Slay, I think, can do a good job against Ridley. Interested to see what they do with the slot position, whether it's, Steven Nelson can play the slot. So I'd prefer if they were to put him, because I know Zaccheaus, I think, played a little more outside. We'll see how they manage that. But I'd prefer to see if Gage is in the slot, I'd rather Nelson go in there and play him in the slot because I don't want to see Maddox covering Gage because I think that's a complete mismatch. I'd rather see Maddox following Zaccheaus wherever he goes, if we're talking about man coverage, right? But the wide receiver position for Atlanta is what I'm going to be watching. And breakout player, this is tough. I'm going to go with, I think Rager's going to have a good first game. I think he's going to silence some people. And I think we're going to win this game 31-24. But I could see it also being 31-24 Atlanta.
I like that.
Atlanta's defense sucks, so I think we're going to put up points.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I just feel like we're not going to put up that much points because we're just coming back. Like, everyone's coming back. Unless you're Kansas City or the Buccaneers or any high-powered offense, I just feel like you're not going to score that many points. I could see it because Atlanta's defense is terrible. Devontae Smith's going to have his ways with AJ Terrell. He could have a stride this year. He could, take a big leap and like a step up because he has a lot of competition this year, especially in his own division. A lot of good receivers in that division. So
that's a tough division to be a corner in, man. Like, the fact that Bradbury survived there for that long is impressive.
That's why he's so good now, because he played in that division.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I feel like it's going to be like a 26-20 type of game because Hurts is coming back. This is like the first actual game that he is the starter, and you can't say anything about it. So I think this is an Eagles win. Players to watch out for: Miles Sanders, of course, Smith, Devontae. You have to watch out for those players. And one more player that you should watch out for is Anthony Harris. I think he should get one pick in this game because I just feel like you don't want to throw the ball around Slay's area or Steven Nelson's area because they can both pick it off because they just have that potential. Same thing with you could say about some of those linebackers, especially Singleton. His pass coverage got better, so maybe you don't want to throw there. So I think Harris may get like a couple of tackles. He may pick the ball off here and there. I think it's a close game, 26-20. Both teams are coming back. New head coaching staff. I think the Eagles pick up the W, though. So
love it.
We face the 49ers at our hometown of Philadelphia in the link, at the link, whatever you want to call it. I know we have some Niner fans in here, so I'll try to not be too biased. But who do you have winning this game?
Dude, this is a tough one, honestly. Like, I know a lot of people are going to say we'll easily win this, but I think there's a lot of factors that go into this game. Like, I think Jimmy G is going to be starting this game. I think he's going to start at least the first half of the season. I don't think Lance is quite there yet, and I think it's just to his benefit. I know he didn't play all of last year, but he also did get some preseason experience this year, and I think it's to his benefit to sit for a little bit, especially behind a guy like Jimmy G who has run the system before. I know he's not the best quarterback, but I think it comes down to what will that 49ers defense look like without Robert Salah? I think that's a big factor in it because Shanahan's still there. We know the offense is still going to be very silky smooth, and Jimmy G's going to miss a few throws here and there. But what's the defensive situation going to look like for them? They still have the talent there. They do. They still have a lot of their talent there. But I think another concern too is while I like our run coverage and linebacker core, how are we gonna fare against Mostert, Sermon, Gallman, and Michael Hasty, and like all these, every running back there can get it done, and the offensive line knows how to run block, and Shanahan just knows how to scheme too. So, I think I'm going to pick the Eagles to win. I'm mostly going to base this off of just the fact that the 49ers are coming over from the West Coast and they're going to lose 3 hours. So I'm hoping that'll impact the game a little bit, but I'm kind of going out on a limb here. Realistically, I think the 49ers should win this game, but I'm going to say this is one of those games where we pull out a surprising win. And I think if we win, it's going to have to be low scoring. So I'm going to go 21, not really low scoring, but not high scoring either, 21-17. I just think that it's going to be another one of those games where just not having film on us is going to be an advantage. So,
I personally will go for the Niners in this game. They're getting a lot of guys back. The only thing that will, cause, some type of win for us in this game is we don't know what D'Amico Ryans is on defense, even though I think he'll be a great defensive coordinator.
Dude, I forgot he's the coordinator there. Love D'Amico.
Yeah, because he was the right-hand man for Robert Saleh. And Saleh, people respect him as a defensive coordinator. And if that's the right-hand man for the guy, then I personally will go for the Niners in this game. They have a lot of pieces on that offense. Debo, they have Ayuk, who's going to have a step up here this year. Man, he's having 1,000 on us. And I personally don't know who's covering George Kittle.
Yeah. I wanted to answer. Vibe said real quick, week 1's the East Coast. I thought they played the Lions week 1.
Who?
I thought the 49ers played in Detroit. He said the 49ers week 1 game. I thought they played the Lions. So Midwest more so.
They do play the Lions week 1.
So I don't imagine it's like East Coast where they play in like Washington or something, then they stay there.
They play in Ford Field.
Yeah, so they'll head there, probably head back, and then probably head back to Philly, yeah.
Going with the Niners in this game, I could see like a 24, 13 game, like something like that. The Niners pull the win off here, 27-13 or something like that. 27-16. I don't think we'll put up too much points. I feel like the Niners are a really good team, and they are a potential Super Bowl contender. Honestly, that team is loaded with talent on the defense and offense. And Shanahan's a mastermind, so I'll give them the win here. We beat them last year at their house, so I think they beat us here at our house.
Fair.
Going to Arlington.
No Nick Mullins on the other side this time, too.
Yeah, that was a big difference maker in why we won. Going to Arlington, where we face the Cowboys, week 3. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. It's very hard to face the Cowboys and win at their house. I'm going to go with them here.
Dude, it pains me to do the same, but I have to. I mean, Monday Night Football in Jerry World. Look, I hope we get an upset there, but that's going to be a tough game, especially early in the season. I think that's going to be a game where we kind of show our youth, and sometimes we come out a little rusty after a long rest too. That extra day can hurt us sometimes. So I'm taking the Cowboys here
for sure. Even though it sucks that we have Dallas winning, it's still Dallas. They usually win at Arlington, man. But
I think the last time we won there was the Super Bowl year. I think, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going into the Chiefs. Are they playing at home or here?
I think it's in Philly.
Yep, it's in Philly. All right. So Andy Reid is back in Philly. I have them 1-2 so far. Going into the link, Hunter has them 2-1 going into this game. So I have the Chiefs winning. Who do you have winning?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs. No
It's not
comment.
gonna be a
Andy Reid's beat us twice since he's gone to
yeah.
Kansas City.
It's just too hard, man. It's just too hard, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Kansas City is just another like full step up in challenge. So 1-3 for
Mhm.
me, 2-2 for him. So we go to the Panthers at our stadium, I think. No, their stadium.
In Carolina.
Mhm. I have us winning here. I'll say. I have the us winning here because I feel like Carolina is a good team, but at the same time they have potential. A couple players on that offense. I think it could be a sneaky game, honestly. Ooh, I might go with the Panthers actually, because it's at their stadium and it's hard to beat them there. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Panthers in this game. I keep
Dang,
switching.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
I'm
One
gonna
and
go with the Eagles just because I think at this point it's going to be a must win, especially with the Bucks coming up the next week. I know the Eagles won't be thinking that way. This would be a game where the Eagles lose and then they go and beat Tampa the next week. But
yeah,
I think that I could see this is another game I could really see going either way because Joe Brady, I think he's so good at moving the football just in the short
yeah.
game as well. He's a really good
Especially
offensive
if they have
coordinator.
a new quarterback.
Yeah, I think Darnold's going to mesh very well with Joe Brady's style, and I think Darnold's going to get back to when the play breaks down, doing his thing, but not having to run with the play broken down every single play, or with Adam Gase, who just always believes in his system and his way of doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks, but they've got weapons too. I mean, they've got speed on that offense. I think we're gonna have a little bit of tough time, but I'm gonna take us just because I really think they're gonna need to win this game. I really just think
Yeah.
this is gonna be such a big game, and the more I think about it, though, the more I think that offense the Panthers have, Matt Rule developing defensive players. They got J.C. Horn there now. They've got Jeremy Chin. They've got talent there. I still think the defense has got some building to do. I'll still take the Eagles and stick to my original one, but man, the Panthers are really starting to put things together now.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go Philly.
Are you?
Because like I want to say the Panthers win, but I also could see Philly win this game.
Mhm.
Two young teams with potential, but I'm gonna go with
Right.
us in this game. It's gonna be a fun one. Jalen Hurts
A lot
versus
of
Sam
fun.
Darnold. It's gonna be a classic, man. That should be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
Uh, and they beat us last time, so I think we should pull off the dub here.
Oh, that game was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Was that the one where we blew the 21-0 lead or something
Yep,
like that
yep,
against
we
Cam
blew
Newton?
a
Oh my gosh.
17-point lead. Actually, we blew.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah. Cam Newton, man, he was just dancing on our defense. Yeah,
Dude, for real.
2-3. All right, so I have them 2-3 going into this game. What do you have them at right now?
I think I have them 3-2.
3-2. All right, so 2-3 going into this game. Short week.
Gotta be
Where we
3-3
face the
for me.
Buccaneers. Yeah, where we face the Buccaneers. Who do you have winning, Hunter?
I want to say while I have this as a loss, I could see this as a win. The Eagles do well in short weeks. It's a night game, prime time. They know they got to come out there and at least the Eagles usually don't like drop the ball on Sunday night or Thursday night or any of the prime time games, right? At least in recent years they haven't too much. There's been a couple times, but we won't talk about that. They usually know they got to show up, and we'll probably be in our all black jerseys too, which adds like an extra 5% chance of a win. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. And also Brady's there. Like Brady is going to be thinking about, every time he plays Foles and every time he plays the Eagles, there's always stuff that people are thinking about. But I got to still take the Bucs just because of the talent alone they have all around.
That team's loaded everywhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see us winning, but I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers in this game. Totally, talented team.
Yeah.
Just based off of what I've seen, I'm gonna go with the Bucs. But as you said, I could see a win because we usually do good on short weeks, and it's a very short week. And the Bucs have 2 back-to-back games where they play one at their house and then go on the road. So I think this is a dub for the Eagles. I mean, a loss for the Eagles, man. I almost said dub, but yeah, 2-4. Going into the Raiders game, I think this is a win. Personally, I'm not the highest on the Raiders this year. 3-4. Beating the Raiders. How about you, Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like this is going to be one of those odd West Coast games where, the Raiders end up showing up where they do just some Sundays, some Sundays they don't. I hope it's reminiscent of the Christmas game where we beat them. I hope it's reminiscent of full 7 touchdown game. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Raiders find a way to get it done.
Cool.
But I think we should beat them. I'm just trying to, put some odd wins and losses in here for my
Yeah.
record prediction.
Yep. 2-3. I mean, not 2-3. 3 and 3.
4.
For me, I have
I,
3 and 4.
I've been 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah, let me recheck. 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, 2-4, and 3-4. All right, so I have them 3-4.
Same here.
We don't even have to talk about the next one. We go to Detroit. I think it's at their stadium. Yeah, it's at Fort. Well, this is an easy dub. Like, I don't even have to say too much. 4-4.
This better be a win, man. I'll just say, like, after the Ryan Matthews fumble, I remember there was a time when the Lions kicked the game winner on us when I was a kid.
Beat us a lot, man. That team
knows how to
beat against us.
Dude, for real. And then week 3 of 2019, where they ended up beating us because of 7 drop passes that Wentz had or his receivers had. So I'm hoping we have more brighter memories of the snowball where Shady McCoy danced all over them, and we'll see. I'm hoping we win this game. I think we're a little farther ahead in our rebuild than they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4-4. We go to the Chargers. I think this is a loss. The Chargers are a damn good team. I think Herbert should do good against our defense. I think the Chargers win this game. How about you, Hunter? 4-5.
Yeah, Herbert's a beast, man. He's really tough to pick against. I think he's just going to have like a sophomore pop-off type of year. Mm-hmm. So, and Eckler being healthy too. I'm picking the Chargers here.
Mm-hmm, for sure. 4-5. The Chargers win this game. We face the Broncos. Honestly, I think the Eagles lose this game. I could see a dub for the Broncos or the Eagles realistically, but I'm gonna go with the Broncos in this game. So 4-6.
Dude, playing a mile high is tough.
Yeah,
it is a really tough task, and we have struggled there. At least I remember the last time we played there, we had a really rough showing. So, yeah, I'm taking the Broncos in this one just because I think they're going to be a little bit better than last year. They got a good defense, and that playing in a stadium is just really difficult.
Oh, Vibe says the Broncos have the best secondary in the league. I'm not the biggest fan of Surtain, but the rest of their secondary is really solid.
Mm-hmm. They have a really good secondary. It's definitely up there.
Simmons, Jackson, they have a beast in that secondary. Going to, at New Orleans, I think we play at our house again. Yep, we face the Saints. I think this is a win. We're going off of 2 back-to-back losses. I think the Eagles should win this game, even though I could see the Saints win. But I'm gonna say 5-6 for the Eagles here.
Yeah, look, like you said, can't lose 2 in a row. I think James is going to have a good year, but I think you've seen us as the years have gone on against the Saints. We've gotten better. I mean, 2018 lost them 48-7, but then we should have beat them in that playoff game. We really should have. And then last year we took care of business against them. So, I think we're going to get the upper hand on Sean Payton here and start to turn the tables a little bit, taking the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going to New York at MetLife, we face the Giants. This is going to be a big game because both teams don't like each other. So the Giants fans are going to be talking a lot of hot. I personally am going to go with them in this game. The Eagles lose this game, unfortunately. That sucks. It sucks that we're going to lose to them. So I'll say 5-7.
Dude, everything's in me telling me to pick the Giants here, but I just really don't want to. I hate them so much. I hope we sweep them this year, but I'm going to stick with it. I think the Giants are going to win this game at home, but that's because I think we're going to take care of them later in the season.
Yeah, 5-7. We face the Jets. Easily win. I think we should win this game. Wilson's first game. I'll go with the Eagles in this game. How about you, Hunter?
6-7. Yeah, I think we're going to get hot. I think we're going to get hot in September, and I don't think Wilson will be quite ready yet for what our defense is going to be. So I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. Still got some things to work on. So I'm going with the Eagles in this.
So we face Washington. I think this is a loss personally. Washington's a damn good team. They have done a lot this offseason to improve their team. They got Fitz. So I'll say 6-8 loss.
Dude, Fitz always has our number too. I mean, you go to Tampa when he beat us with Deshaun Jackson back then. You go to Miami when he surprised us there. I'm leaning towards us. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington. It's a home game. I'll go with the Eagles for the home game in this one.
Yeah, 6-8. We face the Giants again at our house. This time, I think the Philly wins. So 7-8. How about you, Hunter?
Yeah, revenge on the Giants. Give me 8-7 for my record right now.
Yep. 7-8 right now for me. Not too many people will like this. I think the Washington football team sweeps us this year. I don't know, man. I feel like they should sweep us this year. Even though it's a division matchup, we usually split with them. We've swept them a lot over the past year. So I personally think they do it this year to us. So what do I have? 7-9. I keep switching on that. I feel like we should win one game against them, but now I'll stick to it. I think they sweep us.
Yeah, I think that I called the Eagles to win the first one. So if that happens, I think Washington's at least splitting with us this year. I do. So I definitely think Washington. Look, like you said, on paper, they should easily beat us both times. I mean, they have the way better team. Jack Del Rio is a phenomenal defensive coordinator. Ron Rivera is an awesome head coach. Scott Turner is one of my favorite, under the radar offensive coordinators, especially I know you and me both love how he used J.D. McKissick and 2 running back sets last year. So they definitely are winning one of these games against us. So I have us at 8-8 now.
Yeah. So we faced the Cowboys in the last game of the season. Personally, I'm going to go with the Eagles. Because we lost to them in the first game. I could see Dallas winning this game because they may have something to play for. But I'll say we win this game. So set 8-9. I originally said 7-10, so I may be wrong, but 8-9.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be, getting into form at this point in the season. The young guys are going to have good chemistry. The scheme's going to be in place. We're going to have gotten through that kind of rookie wall for Nick Sirianni where maybe teams start to figure him out a little bit as the season progresses, but he's going to be at the back end of the season where he's kind of in his groove and, very comfortable. And he knows the Cowboys by this point. And I think the Cowboys are going to do their usual thing where they drop the ball. They drop the ball in December. They always know how to, lose important games come December. And I think I have us at 8-8 right now. I think we're going to be competing here for a wild card spot possibly with the Cowboys. Keep in mind, before you make fun of me for that the Bears got a wild card spot at 8-8 last year. So it's definitely possible. So today, maybe today's just a little bit of a different day where I'm feeling a little higher on the Eagles than usual, probably because the season's right around the corner. But I'm going to go with the win here. So I have us at 9-8 getting a wild card spot today. Yeah. But as you know, Sly, that hasn't been my prediction most of the offseason. I'm just feeling hype right now. So
I think I should change something. I don't know, because I said 7-10. But maybe I think I have us losing that Panthers game, so it could be 7-10.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 8-9. But done sharing my screen. We've been out here for almost an hour and 38 minutes. So half of hour. So please subscribe one more time. Thank you to everyone who stopped by. If you haven't already, subscribe to Hunter and his channel, the Philly Insider Podcast. Great guys over there. One more time, shout out your channel.
Yeah, you guys can check me out at Philly Insider. Me and 6 other guys do content, or 5 other guys do content there. And I write for InsideTheEagles.com, so I'll have articles coming this season. And on the channel, I'll be doing a lot of film breakdown stuff like that. And a lot of similar stuff that Slay does. So you guys can check me out there. You'll probably catch me and Slay collabing a good bit during the season, just because we kind of share the same viewpoints on a lot of the stuff. And where I would say we're a little more realistic. So you'll catch us collabing a lot. But thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it. It was great to come on your channel.
Always welcome, man. Always welcome. Thank you guys. Whoever came in here, we still have 5 in here. So Please like and subscribe on your way out, and we are out.